let me show you something right quick here. Everybody should see, this is section 100 here on Blackboard, but it should all be the same if it's 100 or 101. Right here, you see two announcements for chapter 6. Now keep in mind, we're reading chapter 6 before 5, and that I'll make that clear when I talk about chapter 6 here in a minute. So there are two things that you need to do. First of all, watch the lecture here. Oh, I'm sorry. Watch the lecture on YouTube. So it's on chapter 6 lecture is up on YouTube. Also here, right here, there is a document, Epicurus Principal Doctrines. I'd like for you to read that. And right here, if you click this link, it will take you to some computer games, some ethical computer games that you could play. I'd like for you to play through several different episodes of that computer game. It's kind of fun. You can tell it how you want to, whether you want to cooperate or not cooperate or whatever. So it kind of gives you an idea of what chapter 6 and chapter 5 are about. So watch the lecture on chapter 6, read this document by Epicurus here, very early philosopher of hedonism, pleasure, and then play through several episodes of this game, because there will be an exam quiz on this game and what you might take from that as you played it. So word to the wise would be good to familiarize yourself with that. So I'm going to stop sharing this page now because we're finished with that. And we are back to our session. All right. Pull up chapter 6. And as I said, we're reading chapter 6 before we read chapter 5. Chapter 6 by topic should have come before chapter 5. Egoism and self-interest are the things that underlie social contract theory. And social contract theory underlies utilitarianism or consequentialism, both mean the same thing. And egoism and self-interest are fundamental for understanding British and American economics and law and political thought. So social contract and utilitarianism are based on egoism and self-interest. So just going through the chapter, you want to make sure that you understand the definitions: psychological egoism and ethical egoism. And Cooper, I'm taking your advice here about highlighting things that people should pay attention to. So no psychological egoism and ethical egoism. Psychological egoism is the first major heading under bold. Make sure you read through that carefully. Read the Paradox of Hedonism, and that is where you need to review that document by Epicurus that I showed you in Blackboard.
Mr. Gill.
Yeah, Cooper.
My mini laptop blacked out. My one with my chapter 6 is rebooting. Can you start over what you were saying as far as things to pay attention to, and I'll write them down while that reboots.
Yeah, all right. Right at the beginning there, make sure you understand psychological egoism and ethical egoism. Then there comes a whole series of pages on psychological hedonism. Go through those. Then you come to the paradox of hedonism, and that's where you need to go through that document I showed you at the beginning on Blackboard that I assigned for you to read on Epicurus. Epicurus is the first hedonist. Well, the first philosophical hedonist. Hedon is simply the Greek word for pleasure. So they're pleasurist. They seek pleasure above all things. That's exactly what hedonism means. Then we come to ethical egoism. Now, those were defined early on in that almost the first page or two. Now he's going into depth on both psychological and ethical egoism. You should read all of it, but you should really read carefully under ethical egoism, Hobbes's argument from predominant psychological egoism. Read that carefully because that is the basis of chapter 5. Right after that, there's a section entitled Smith's Economic Argument. Now, this is Adam Smith, the great 18th century economist who forever defined what's called laissez-faire economics. So understand that. And then there's the section on Ayn Rand, A-Y-N-R-A-N-D. Now, I augmented this, I added to this in the lecture. So as you read this section here on Ayn Rand, make sure you go back to the lecture on chapter 6 that came out earlier in the week, because I have a lot to say in that lecture about Ayn Rand and contemporary issues around Rand's argument, which comes from psychological egoism and Smith's economic laissez-faire economy. Then there's the arguments against ethical egoism. And remember, I asked you to, in this last exam, to cite some problems with ethical relativism. So I'm likely to ask you to pick one or two of these as examples of what is a problem with ethical egoism. So we see the problems there, the arguments against ethical egoism. The first one is the inconsistent outcomes argument. Second, publicity argument. Third, friendship and paradox of ethical egoism argument. Fourth, the argument from counterintuitive consequences. And finally, the problem of future generations. In other words, what do we want to leave to our children and grandchildren? And is our egoism consistent with making a good life for the people that we love. So that's that. Now, that's kind of it on chapter 5. That's what you need to know on chapter 5. That's all there is. That's all she wrote. So it's fairly simple. And you did well on that. Most all of you did well on that. And the last time that you worked your philosophical magic on my questions. Now, as it comes to that, if you will, beginning tomorrow noon, shall we say, if you will shoot me an email, a personal email, something that is just between me and you, I will give you your grade. I don't want a group email, because that means that everyone could perhaps see another person's grade, and I am a privacy wonk. I do not ever compromise your personal integrity or what belongs to you. So that grade is personal between me and you. If you want to tell somebody what your grade is, that's fine, but I don't. So I need a personal email addressed to me. Don't go to an email that you've seen that I sent out to everybody, but shoot me a personal email and I will respond with your grade if I am comfortable with that being a direct exchange between me and you via email. Does that make sense to everybody? If it doesn't, please let me know.
Yes, sir. I'll be emailing you for sure about my grade.
Okay. All right. So beginning tomorrow about noon. So I can't guarantee having all of them graded before then, but by noon tomorrow, they should all be graded.
All righty.
So that's it on chapter 5. See, this is not as difficult as you thought it was going to be. So if you don't have any questions, then I'm going to let you go. Cooper, did you get your textbook up and running?
No, sir. It's loading updates.
Must be a Microsoft.
Yeah. Even when I don't want it to.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be Microsoft then. Microsoft's got a hand in it someplace, I can guarantee you.
I tried to shut it off. It won't let you on. It won't let you. So yeah, it's installing updates.
All right. Well, you should have gotten exactly what you need. And by the way, Cooper, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put it on Facebook, so it's going to be up on Facebook tonight or tomorrow. So you can review it.
Yes, sir. I'm reading through the chapter 6. I don't have any questions as of yet. As far as things I might not understand. We don't have another exam. Those are only like every 3 chapters, right?
Yep, 3 or 4.
Okay.
So we won't have another exam until we'll put up first week or so in November, probably.
Okay, so perhaps before that, on one of our other labs, I could come up with other questions I might have as far as anything. I'd like to say it disturbs me greatly that out of 50 people, you've only received 10 exams.
Well, I've got more than that now. They started trickling in after I bared my soul on YouTube.
Yeah, I was kind of, I said, I don't think that's that's real fair to the rest of us that struggled and tried to make on time. And then these others, I was like, if they don't want to take the class, they might as well state it and just go ahead and let you devote your time to the rest of us.
Well, you know, that may be true, but there's a lot of people working under a lot of problems these days, so
True.
gotta try to cut them some slack.
Exactly true. And my last statement was, I think you're doing real well as far as getting information and videos out there. As I said previously, two other instructors aren't going to have the links you are going to, nor informational wise. One I haven't heard from all semester. She puts up no announcements, no due dates, nothing. So I'm not really paying much attention to her class at all. So I think you're going a little above and beyond trying to put stuff out there, and you're doing a wonderful job.
Cooper, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, yeah.
But Professor Jen, I do have to go.
Okay.
My break is over, so I apologize for the
You
interruption.
betcha. No problem. Thanks.
Alrighty, you guys have a great night. Thank you.
Okay, you too, Stephanie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Cooper, look, man, teaching is a sacred trust. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm just confounded with some of these other instructors. I know it's tough on everybody, but you just keep putting up video. Oh, I found the rest of your videos. I kept misspelling your name.
Well, yeah, that's a problem.
So, on YouTube, I kept misspelling it. So I finally got the correct spelling and found the rest of the videos. So I'm up on that. They're available for review, and that's all for now, sir.
All right. Thank you, my man, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.